with playing it. That's the
exactly.
one
You
knock
get
against
barns,
it. Yeah.
you high roll. It's just at that point.
But okay, well, all right. Why don't we move on since we spent like an hour on that topic? HCT Europe obviously happened, and or at least the prelims happened, and once again we've got Pavel reigning supreme. I mean, this guy. I mean, best player in the world. I mean, anybody gonna argue with that at this point?
He makes the best lineups in the world.
Yeah,
definitely.
He's on fire.
Isn't this? What do you mean he makes the best lineup? That's the same thing. Like, I hate it when people are like, yeah, he makes the best decks or he plays well. It's just like, no. I mean, based on results, he's the best player in the world. I hate it when.
Oh,
people
sure. No.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying like it really depends what you mean by best player, right? Because that changes depending on who's saying it. But yeah, I agree. Pavel's absolutely amazing. But I think like the strength of his lineups, which is, to be honest, I mean, and you'll probably, I don't know if you'll agree or not, but I think building a lineup for a tournament is by far the most important part of that tournament and of your run. And I think he's really good at it. Like, his lineups are always fucking great. They're always a bit different, and they're always just right there. I think it's sick.
Yeah.
So what did he bring? He brought like Evolved Shaman, Warlock.
The other two are
Priest and
Druid.
There you go.
Yeah. So the
way it was like, what is that fourth class?
That's that we all saw so much, right?
I like that you started with the other two first. So like the less played. So like the other two are like easy to figure out.
Allie's preparing for the future, all right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. No, the big theme was that Druid was being banned, correct? I mean, like we weren't seeing that much Druid.
See a game, right?
Yes, Pavel didn't get his Druid banned in his first round.
Oh, really?
First game, he locked Druid in and crushed his opponent.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Best Today EU brought a lineup to beat Druid, and guess what? Lost. So yeah, there were. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this actually. There were way more Druids left open than we showed on stream because it's just the luck of the draw, right? We show whoever on stream, but they were in the tournament. There were a lot more Druids left open than I thought there would be.
Oh, really?
A lot more. And guess what? All those players got wrecked.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're aggro Druid, then they could have been. Then they could have,
Sure, but
maybe.
there was. Put it this way: there was
like
not as many
people.
aggro Druids, as there were spaces to leave up.
Yeah,
I
just like love what Pavel did because he's like, people are probably gonna bring like Shaman or Paladin, one of those. So like, just all your decks counter that. There's like the two that are just like really good no matter what you're playing against with like Druid and Priest, and then you just brought Token Shaman, which pretty good against Paladin, pretty good against if you could tech it for the mirror, it's pretty good in the mirror, and then
not to mention, he plays Warlock really well.
I'm happy he brought
Shaman
Warlock.
really
that was fun to
well,
watch.
Yeah. What kind of Warlock did he play?
Hammer.
Here's Hammer.
Yeah, it was like control
with cooldown.
Yeah, with cooldown.
Yeah, it was just control. Like that deck cannot lose to Paladin or Shaman, especially Shaman. Like
anything
I feel
wide, I think just
it just can't lose with Defile, Hellfire, like Dreadlord. The matchup is so good.
It was double Defile, double Hellfire, 2 Mountain Giants, 2 Twilights.
That is disgusting. Yeah, good stuff. And then we saw some Taunt Warriors. Allie, you mentioned like maybe some Taunt Warriors popped up.
Yeah, a few people brought Taunt Warrior. Okay. I think it was Denim Blue and Old Boy. I can't remember if there are other people as well, but yeah, we saw some Taunt Warrior.
That was quite a lot.
Surprised with.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. See what you can do when you can ban classes, guys. Like all kinds of cool mixes of things. It's amazing. Unfortunately, we can't do that on the ladder. That would be so nice if we could ban stuff.
That's a lot of pro players have asked for that, like a ban on ladder.
That'd be sweet.
But it would be sweet for us, but it'd be annoying for a lot of other people.
It would be very annoying.
Like, what if someone wants to play Druid? Their queue time will be like 3 hours or infinity. I don't know.
Someone has the dust for one good deck, and they try to queue up, and just like there's nobody to play against.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, congratulations to Pavel, Old Boys, Amex, and Orange actually got through too. So definitely a friend of the show also. But,
another European super squad.
Yeah, that's true, man. The European region is always stacked.
I'm glad Orange made it as well. I just like him a lot. He reminds me of Raven, and then he argues with people a lot, and I really like that.
What's funny is it was his first HCT playoffs.
Yeah, I remember
Ever.
we were on Watchstone and we talked about it. He's like, "Oh, congratulations!" I was like, "You've been there before, right?" And he's like, "No,
No,
I've never
it
actually
wasn't.
played in a prelim." I was like,
Yeah, that's
well, you'll get the next one, and I was right.
exactly right. It was kind of like Muzzy. Like Orange is kind of like Muzzy, you know, in EU. Like he has great finishes and he wins other tournaments, but he just has never performed that great in HCT for whatever reason. So this is really awesome. You know, get a chance to see him, you know, go, and he works really hard too. And like you said, you know, he argues with people. He's pretty open-minded about Hearthstone, you know, just everything. So I think it's great to see a player like that do well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think it's time, or at least it's the portion of the show where we like to give a shout out to our patrons, because Valleytown is 100% supported by the patrons right now. So it's, you know, the show happens because of all of you guys. And if you want to support or at least you want to become a patron and support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Valleytown and send us a pledge our way, you know, like a quarter or $1 or anything like that. It helps us continue to do the show. And I want to give a shout out just to a few of them, just because, you know, just to show our appreciation for folks. So we've got 3 legendary producers now, which is amazing. Mike T, Rami S, and Marshall O. Thank you so much for that. And some other patrons, too, that support the show. Ed H, Bob K, David H, Thomas K, Dan S, Rock R, Casey G, Blake T, Andrew C, William R, and Gansoff the Way. Is he a bodybuilder, you think? Gansoff the Way, maybe? You know, like with whey protein? I'm not sure. But... You know,
or a mage of wizard of some time. Sounds like Gandalf the White.
Okay, maybe it's
maybe
it's a mage that like works out a ton. You know, like a bodybuilding mage.
A mage that lifts. There you go.
That sounds like a streamer, man. That sounds like a new streamer personality somebody should do tomorrow, like right now.
I've not got the luck for that, unfortunately.
Right. Well, on the Patreon, we have or actually we have a few milestones that we have, and our Smilestone milestone has been made for this week, which we haven't done in months. So it's so cool that we're able to do it. And for those of you wondering what Smilestone is, it's where we show how much we love the game Hearthstone for 30 seconds. And so we just stare at the camera and just really just show how much we love Hearthstone with the most beautiful smile that we can give. And it's not fair that Raven can't participate in it right now. So
I've been holding it all show.
It's not fair. It's so not fair. Not fair.
I'll turn you on in a minute, and
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyways, let's do it. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm beating you all.
You can't talk to us. That's not fair.
That's how good I am, ChanManV.
Look at his straight face.
Okay, that's 30 seconds. Wow, that was a
for
long
whatever
time,
reason.
man. That was totally a long time. Oh, it feels good though. Definitely feels good. Don't you feel more happy about Hearthstone? More happy about these nerfs now after that?
Can you not tell by
No,
looking at my
absolutely.
face?
Yeah, like I got
You know, you're stone cold
It's like
right there.
things
I can't read you.
things
I'm
are
still
right.
playing.
It's like eating a cookie and it's like right as rain now, right? Okay, well, thanks so much again, all the patrons, for supporting the show. Again, like we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. And also want to remind folks that we are also on all the audio channels like iTunes and Google Play and SoundCloud. So you can check us out there. Search for Valleytown or Hearthstone, and you can find us. If you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star review and a nice comment, and it helps out with people trying to find a Hearthstone podcast whenever they're looking for one. SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/ChanManV too. You can find all the Valleytown episodes there. All right, let's go into Mekkatorque's workshop now, and we've got a bunch of people that sent in their cards for us to check out. We've got Ben S, Davin P, and Raydan this week, and I think I'm just going to show a bunch at a time. So we have kind of a theme this week where at least Ben S wanted to show some cards that would help with the disco lock situation. I guess if it's a situation. And Raydan has a card too that helps out. So I wanted to show a few of these cards and we can talk about it. Ooh, I think these cards might be kind of too big here, but going to start off with a 5-drop that's called Blood Queen Lenethel, and it's a legendary card. And we also have a revised Clutch Mother's Zavis too. But the Blood Queen is a 5 mana, 1/6 legendary. Lifesteal, cannot be discarded, and gains +1 attack for every card you've discarded this game.
I don't know if you're trolling ChanManV or not. Like this is a redesign as well. This is the current.
Oh yeah,
Warlock
yeah,
legendary.
yeah. Of course. Oh my god, yeah.
Yes.
Both of them are
ChanManV
redesigns.
doesn't know it's a card.
Both of them are redesigns. Gosh, I'm like, that shows you how much I've played this particular card.
Yeah.
So so both of these are redesigns, and the Clutch Mother one is a Clutch Mother Zavis 2/2, just like it is legendary. If you discard this first. When you discard this, give it +2/+2 and return it to your hand. So, I mean, that's the same, right? is that any different?
No,
if you
no,
discard?
it's
No.
no. The
you-
difference is it's forced discard on this. So
Yeah.
if you discard
discard.
anything, this always gets discarded when it's in your hand.
Oh, that's right.
So
Before
it's
it didn't.
it's not
right?
random. Yeah.
Right. That's right. Okay, so it's forced, right, versus the other one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you guys think about these cards, kind of together in tandem?
I mean,
The-
like Zavis would be like pretty nuts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
your discard just becomes you get to choose, and it goes back to your hand.
Just play Howlfiend and you win the game with like a million card.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
has to
there
be a
you
way.
go,
There
dude.
has to be a
Oh
way of
my
just like
God, you're
destroying Zavis. Yeah, otherwise it's just like auto +2/+2 every time you
Dirty you're
have
at.
it.
Does it come
So
out as
they
a
were
2/2?
at- Yeah, it would.
I think one of the issues with discard, I do like the cannot be discarded on the legendary, because the legendary is only good if you discard
Yeah.
cards. But
Yeah,
like
that's
it sucks that it's a legendary that can you just YOLO throw it away, which is ridiculous. But the problem is with buffing the discard mechanic in any way, you either don't buff it enough or make it OP. Like
Yeah.
it's such an awkward
Yeah, I
pain in
agree.
the ass mechanic. Like, for example, I would like it if in most games you can choose cards to discard. That would be ridiculously powerful in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be especially with live tap. It would just be so strong.
It's so good.
Yeah, and that's the issue with the mechanic. I do like the Blood Queen one though. The Clutch Mother I think is a bit too strong, but Blood Queen, a legendary shouldn't be discardable if it's like the class discard legendary, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think something like this, right, where like it needs discards, and then like I don't know, you pitch it, it needs discards, and you have to like. There's a good chance you pitch it before turn 5. Like I don't know. I think this change would make it playable, because right now I can't really see it. I think Kibler's the only one arguing for it, but I don't know. I can't see this card being played.
That's the main issue, right? Like
Yeah.
the main issue with this strong, powerful minions in a discard deck is you'll discard them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's just the problem.
This card is just such a bad thing to begin with, so it's
It's just in a weird spot. It's too hard to make
Yeah,
it good.
We've
without
talked about
making
it like
OP.
countless
Yeah.
times. I mean, me, Allie, and Jackie, that discard is inherently a really bad thing, so they make up for it with value. So if you remove the penalty, it's an enormous change, right, in value, and that's kind
Yeah.
of where it gets to the polarization
I
thing
mean-
that you were referring to, Raven. So yeah,
Especially when your hero powers like draw a card as well. So like you never discard a
That's
card with
right.
Zavis, and you get to draw cards still.
yeah,
Yeah, that one's a little too good. I think.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, there's another one, necrotic. Oh, go ahead, Allie, if you have one more.
Oh no,
point
no,
on
no,
that.
never mind. It's all good.
Okay, the necrotic scryer was a third one that that I think it was Ben S had for us, which was a 4-mana 2/3 demon, and it's an epic. It cannot be discarded. Discover a card you discarded this game, reduce its cost by 2, and add it to your hand.
I like that.
Yeah, I
actually,
like this
quite a
one.
bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
That's good.
I'm trying to like
I mean,
trying to figure out if it's like
4
too
minutes
powerful,
is
but it's probably okay.
Well, you can't get the Blood Queen back since it can't
Yeah.
be discarded. So, I think that one's at least properly statted. It's
Yeah, that
I
makes
don't know
sense.
why it needs to be a minion. Like that to me could just be that could work similar to
oh, I see what you mean.
oh
Like
my
a-
god, what's the Eternal Servitude? You could just summon
Yeah.
a discarded minion.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
because
Is
let's
it
be honest,
Oh,
a lot of
you're
the
right.
discarded cards
Yeah.
are actually quite like low cost. Or
But if
whatever,
it's a
you know,
minion
even-
too,
Yeah.
it's really.
yeah, it's pretty strong as a minion, I think.
Mhm.
is it a battle cry? Is this a battle cry?
No, it's not.
Uh,
Oh, It should be.
think
It
of
should have
yeah.
been. It should
Yeah,
have
it
been a
should
battle cry. Yeah, it should have been a
Okay.
battle cry. You're right.
I kind of like that idea though, like make it kind of like Eternal Servitude.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't need the like cannot be discarded tag because, and it would still be pretty good, I think.
Yeah, because
Alright.
suddenly you're almost like adding 2-3 stats to whatever minion you pull, right?
Right,
Like
yeah.
it kind of works like that, which I think's a bit strong. But yeah, just put it, and it's a demon. This necrotic scryer, which is interesting because it's the most human-looking demon I've seen. But yeah, you know, like I like the idea. I think discovering you know, using Eternal Servitude for discarded cards is actually pretty sweet. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too.
Mhm.
And the last one we have is from Raydan, which is Irishable. Is that a word? Irishable?
1 second.
Do I
I'm
know
all over.
English? Do I know English?
It's okay.
No.
None of us barely
I
do.
think it means perishable.
Oh, is it? It should have been perishable. Okay, I wasn't
Perish-
sure. Yeah, okay.
Perishable.
Irishable. I was like, man, I didn't want to
You
look
just
too
like
stupid
Google?
there, but yeah.
Did you mean perishable?
I so wanted to just be like to you guys, like, do you know English?
Exactly.
Perishable's a word.
Yeah.
Guys,
So let's just
no.
whatever perishable, irishable, whatever it is. Imp. It's a epic 3-mana 2/1 demon. Whenever you discard this, add 2 copies of it to your hand. So pretty good. Like at least it gives you more fodder for discarding. It's literally just a fodder card, right?
Yeah, because
For
I don't really
discard.
know why I would want it, to be honest. I mean, because it's just a
For quest
3-mana 2/1.
lock or
I
something
think
like that.
the quest, and you
Yeah.
also want it because it hides your better cards in your hand. More likely to discard an imp than the better card.
So how many
Yeah.
discards or what turn do you think you could fill your entire hand with this? Irishable. Mimp.
Whatever turn you play Halfing done, because that
They
can
take 2
potentially
of 'em.
discard 6 cards,
It would
right?
take 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that would. You have a handful of irishable imps. That would be terrible, right? Like you
Is
can't.
that even good though? Yeah.
I mean,
I feel
it's good if you're. I still think it's good if you're doing quests, but at some point you're just playing 2 1s on the board for 3 mana. So, I don't know. It's interesting. The fact that we have to even talk about that, I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. So, I like this card. I think this card would be interesting to see what people would do with it. You know, at least play around with the quest. But cards like this are what's necessary to make the quest something. Right now, it's still
Yeah.
too hard to do the quest.
Yeah.
I think Blood Queen as immune to discard could make the quest potentially close, like almost there.
You think so? Yeah, I would agree with that too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because that card's pretty.
I don't
Because
know.
that card continues to gain attack when you discard. Like that's actually pretty sick.
Yeah. It's like-
yeah.
Okay, let's see. We've got another few cards here that are not disco lock related, thankfully. It's a little bit more variety. Not that discard lock is bad. It's just more variety here. Okay, we've got a priest card. We've got a hunter card here. I think we've got one more too. Let me see if I can.
Hunter.
Yeah, here.
Queen.
Oh, actually, we do have another. We have another warlock card, but it's not disco. So we'll start with the warlock one, so given that we've talked about it. So it's a 3-mana 0/2 vampiric volitant, which is an epic card. Stealth. Adjacent minions gain lifesteal, but suffer 1 damage at the end of each turn. So a very positional type of minion, and you know things like this is the type of card you would normally see, minus maybe the lifesteal in warrior. Right, where you're damaging your own minions and getting enraged or getting acolytes and things like that, or armor. What do you think about this in Warlock? Is that kind of cool?
I feel
Allie?
like if this was a demon, I'd like it. Like I feel like it
yeah.
needs something a little bit more to be put into a deck. But if it was a demon, I think it'd actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea, right? Because like warlocks like really need healing,
Yeah.
and maybe this is something that can help a lot, especially when I don't know if you put it like next to a giant, maybe just gain 8. Like seems pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Then I was thinking like you don't drop this on 3. You drop this when you have your Despicable Dreadlord or Giant or
Yeah, Twilight
Abyssal
Drake.
Enforcer. Yeah,
like that.
exactly. And be like, well, 1 damage, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
there's also funky stuff that like how much does that card help with Defile sometimes? You could do weird combos like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
True.
Drop them
Yeah.
by 1, then Defile math is like some of the like best stuff to watch actually. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Dude, that's hard. That's hard.
It is
It is hard
sometimes.
sometimes.
Totally is hard.
Defile
No, I
mathematics.
actually, the more that I think about it, like, I mean, Warlock has always suffered, for with healing. You know, that's always been an issue, is not enough healing. So I actually like this. You know, putting this right next to your mountain giant or something to kind of heal you back up for 8. That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely.
I wonder if
very
stealth makes it too good.
I mean, I'm given that there's so much removal these days. It's
Is
probably
health's not that crazy.
most of the time. It's probably a 1-turn heal.
I don't think it needs stealth, honestly. If it didn't have stealth and just didn't damage your minion,
Maybe 0-3 without stealth would be fair.
I could see that. Yeah.
0-3 without stealth would be fair too.
I like that.
2 or 1, it needs to be
Because
stealth.
you literally need to damage AoE to kill it, and that's actually pretty hard for a lot of classes. Like, if not, that mountain giant's you just immortal at that point. Like, it's like, oh no, my mountain giant can only take 8 turns of this 1 damage.
I think there's plenty of things that do 2 damage across the board. I mean, there's drakes.
Name them all, ChanManV.
There's drakes. There's Baron-Geddon. There's Novas.
Oh,
I mean, there's like
on
millions.
turn 8. This is coming down on turn 5, ChanManV. Right after your mountain giant. That's 4 turns of mountain giant hits.
Novas.
I like 0-3 without stealth. I think that's.
You just have to play Warlock against it. You can play all the Warlock removal.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, then moving forward, we've got some hunter help here, some major hunter help here, and I actually like the picture and name here. So, Mekkatorque the Corruptor. So this is a 4-mana legendary 2/2 beast. Destroy a beast minion and gain its attack, health, and card text. So it's like
what?
It's like Zombeast, but like different.
So if I kill a high main, I gain Death Rattle and summon 2/2s.
Yes.
And +6/+6.
And +6/+6.
Yes.
So you 8/7.
Is this too good? Like,
dude, this is amazing.
I don't think it needs to be a 2/2.
This is Void Terror
it could be
on
a
drugs,
1/1.
man. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
It's already a removal spell, right? And then it becomes a minion. So like, plus also giving it +2/+2. So it's kind of like not Galactic. I mean, kind of like Galactic Crawler, but a lot better.
No,
It's
but
only
you're
a
just
beast, though.
you're
aiming it at your own minion.
Yeah, you're mostly aiming at your own minion. But if you do get one of your opponent's minions, that's insane. Like it's like crazy good. But
I think I would make it a 1/1. I feel like 2/2's kind of strong.
I could see that. Yeah.
Maybe like a 1/2 or maybe long. I feel like 2/2's kind of.
Yeah, I think 1/1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 1/1's pretty good.
I want clarification on this card. Do we have the creator in the chat?
I don't know. It's Davin P. Davin P created this one.
Does it keep its current card text when it gains the new card text? I'm guessing no, because that would be OP, right? Because you would if you could get multiple Lycanthroths in one way or another, you could Lycanthroth a Lycanthroth, and then it just keeps going.
Hurting my head.
Beast, destroy a beast. Yeah, I know what you mean. So you would always have.
I would assume it says Battle Cry.
Yeah, it probably should say Battle Cry. So it's like a one-time thing.
Yeah, but then if you can get a second one, do it again. You do it on the Lycanthroth and gain those.
Well, what do you mean do it again?
At least it's a
cry.
wonderful card.
It's a Battle Cry. What do you mean?
Yeah, you get you Lycanthroth, the Lycanthroth that's already on the board with the better stats. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a legendary though.
At least easy.
Okay.
Oh my god! It just keeps going, man. It just keeps going.
Look, this becomes an Ungoro card, which is fine because Elise can. There'll be a new Elise. Okay,
No, there's Tireless Tracker. It's easier.
It's Adapt. It's like the new Adapt 2.0.
Oh, Tireless Tracker.
Tireless Tracker, right.
Oh, is it? I thought that was Stitch Tracker.
Stitch Tracker, whatever. What's Tireless?
Yeah, Stitch.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, whatever. Stitch Tracker.
Oh my
when
god.
our powers combine, we're making a
this card is crazy broken. Oh man. Okay, well, anyways, that's a pretty cool card. Just given that we're thinking about.
I approve of this card.
Yes, I like this one too. Next one's a priest. Yay! 8 mana, 6/8 Mordaz the Mummifier, and legend. Definitely, A+ on these names, man. It's definitely good. Add any minion killed by this minion to your deck. So this is definitely not a battle cry. What do you think, Allie? Sound pretty good for a priest card?
I do like it. I just don't know if people would actually play it. I mean, like 8 mana, 6/8.
Yeah, I mean, do we in a situation where we're milling as a priest? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, I feel like it would. You'd put it in a control priest deck, right? And your hands usually big.
It reminds me of like Boogie Monster.
Yeah, I
it's
just
a
don't know
little
if
bit
people
like
would
it,
actually
right?
play it.
It's a tiny bit
I
like
think-
Boogie Monster.
I think this could be cooler if it had like patient assassin stats and it had poison. And then
Okay,
like so
yeah.
you could say, okay, I'm gonna kill this threat, and now this threat is in my deck, and then done.
I kind of like that, yeah.
Like I think that would be the idea is cool. Like kill it and basically entomb it into your deck by killing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think like the stats are way too high. Like by turn 8, your opponent just removes it or kills you.
Easily, right?
So if it was like stealth and it had poison, like maybe you get it off and you can remove, certain turns. But yeah. The idea is cool. But
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think
And
that was
this,
cheaper.
Yeah, like I think the like the mana and like stats would probably have to be different, but the effect is like pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
all right. Last one, we got a warrior here that is a 1/1, but it's an 8-mana 1/1. It looks like a disease or of some sort. Vicious Horror. It's a legendary taunt. At the end of your turn, it absorbs a random enemy minion, gaining its attack and health. Boy, you don't want to be playing Shaman, that's for sure, with this card. But yeah, what do you think about this? Too situational for it to be good at 8?
Too situational.
I think so.
Well, because
Yeah.
I mean, your opponent just could not have a minion on the board, and then you have an 8-mana 1/1 in your hand, and
If they don't have a minion on the board, you don't need the taunt, Allie. Problem solved.
that's true.
But this would be so good against Jade, though. You'd one up their last Jade, and
You just take
you'd
it.
taunt it. Yeah, you'd take it, and you'd be one more than the one that's probably trying to, like if they had another one, so they can't
And
remove
then you
this
do it
thing.
again at the end of the next turn. Because it's
Yeah.
an end of turn effect.
Oh my
You
god!
set this up with the
oh
legendary.
my god! This is insane. Actually, the more I think
guys,
about
guys.
this, this is a
If
battle
you set
cry.
this up,
This-
if you set this up with the two ofs with those witch doctor things that create end of turn effects
Oh
twice.
my god! It's
Just
a warrior.
gobble up the
It's a
board.
warrior,
Just
dude.
gobble up the board.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but that other card's neutral, right? The end of
Which
turn
doctor?
effects happen twice. Is neutral.
Oh yeah, it is
No,
neutral.
whatever
That
that.
is
Yeah.
neutral. Oh
So you
my
just
god.
gobble the board up. Oh my god.
Imagine
yeah.
you get it off of Barnes.
Woo! now we're talking.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not even. It's not even in shrunken when you get it off Barnes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's exactly
It's
the
insane.
same.
Yeah, this card's super powerful. Actually, it's not as situational as I thought. Because I thought it was a battle cry.
No.
Yes.
That's so
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
I
It
want
is like a
that
Battle
disease.
cry as well,
it's a total
actually.
disease. Yeah, me too, Allie. It's a total disease, man. It's like eating up everything. It's crazy.
Such-
I-
I like the idea because so the reason I like end of turn effects that are like interesting is because it creates board objectives like that your
Mhm.
opponent has to think about and deal with
Yeah.
as opposed to this minion hits me for this much every turn. It's actually like a problem card you have to think about how to beat. And it sticks on the board and keeps doing shit. So I like that. That's actually super funky.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool. Okay, well, great cards though. That's the last one. Definitely awesome job with Mekkatorque's Workshop this week, guys. If you want to send in your cards for us next week, go ahead and email those to valuetown@chanmanv.tv, and we'll take a look and look. Hopefully, pick the best ones, or else we just pick them all like we did this week. That's pretty much what we did. Q&A. We're gonna finish off the show with, and let's see what kind of questions we got this week. Let's see, Ahmed asked, will Druid Stone continue? I think we kind of answered that. We think that Druid still will be strong, right? And Priests will maybe rise. And then I think, Raven, you said that you think that Warlock will rise or Priest rises.
Yep.
So overall, it's a good thing. Like more strong decks or more strong classes or more classes than Druid really dominating. That's going to be good. Okay, Alanon asks, I hear lots of suggestions on how to nerf Jade being, let's see, I guess passed around or about. But I think Blizzard just missed a better tech card option than Geist. So maybe something like 4 or 5 mana neutral spell, False Idols, reset all Jade counters to 0. So this is a new idea, but I think what the question to pose is really, if they wanted to nerf just Jade Druid, should they have just chosen only a Jade specific nerf, or
No.
some card? Okay. You say
Well,
no.
okay. Well, if I understand your question properly, though.
Yeah.
So you mean you release a counter card to Jade's?
Or just something that like is specific to Jade, so it resets their counter, or
That sucks. That's like basically print a Jade Crab. which
Yeah.
which is
Jade
no one
crab.
likes crabs.
I would die for
Like
Jade
the only genuine thing I want, just because it's funny, is to have a crab that eats crabs. Like that's literally all I want in life.
That would be funny.
Just it's like how do you tech cards feel now, bro?
That'd be so good.
but yeah, like
that eats crabs.
Gains
No-
plus one attack for every
nobody
Jade
eats-
idol it eats.
Cannibal, the cab
Yeah.
cannibal, the crab cannibal would be funny.
but like nobody likes cards like that, right? Like
No.
unless I'm alone in this, but nobody likes like,
Well-
oh, I just got scammed because he drew this one card that fucks me. Like
Yeah.
Well, it
I
doesn't.
don't know.
It doesn't have to be reset counter to 0. It could be just like, I don't know, subtract counter by 2, or it's hard as crap to understand,
I mean,
but still, like,
There's also like the big problem with Jade's rotating pretty soon, and
Yep.
you just have this useless card for another year or something like that.
okay, that's a better point. Yeah.
See, I've always wanted the answer to Jades to just allow them to be silenced. Like, if you could just silence it back to a 1/1, I'd be happy. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Or like
Right.
we hit them in the face, and kill them before they can play stuff. But play kind of didn't let us do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
or that.
Yeah.
I
That's
actually quite like Geist as a card, to be honest. I think it's pretty cool. There's always it's going to be there for a while
What?
where
Really? You
No,
like
listen,
that card? Okay.
yeah, because it does something else, right? It doesn't just target Jade idols, it does other things. So for example, if there's any deck that happens to have the 1 mana cards in that are important, Malygos Rogue, when it played Sinister Strikes, for example, you could just say no, you are not going to Sinister Strike me
Yeah.
at that point, and then guys can say no, you're not going to Infinite Jade me. You might still get to 8/8/9/9 Jades and kill me, but you can like remove that aspect. But yeah, I mean, I would have preferred if Jades just didn't get to the point where they are anyway. But I think Geist is a bit more of an elegant solution than print a card that beats Jade.
Wow, I actually think it's more of a destructive solution than that.
Really?
Because if they wanted it specifically to help with the Jade situation, they're also hurting a bunch of other decks with it too. And I think that's
Great, it can be used after Jades rotate out to hurt other decks. It
I know,
messes
but
with Pre.
yeah, it does. But
I actually agree with Raven on this.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I've got
I do.
friends.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with you, Raven.
I don't like one card that hurts so many different archetypes or different types of decks. Like I think that generally just is difficult for the meta.
But the problem, it's really that's interesting because I don't like putting a card in my deck to beat one deck that I might face on ladder or might.
Oh, I
face
don't think I like that
Yeah.
either. I'm just saying that. I mean, I don't generally like cards that counter anything. Like one single card. I like gameplay to have to do it, right?
But this count as like potential things, right? Because so if you look at if Quest Paladin becomes strong, people might think about playing Geist if there's any one mana buff spells they use or whatever, or if Priest becomes crazy because Priest gets to the point where you play all of the 1-cost spells all the time, then maybe you play Geist because it's a 4/6 that kind of is an issue for Priest, and you can cut out some of their one mana spells so they can't like OTK you or whatever. So I don't know. I think
isn't
there's
that
like
the same
there's
as
future
playing?
potential.
Isn't that the same as playing BGH? Whenever there's a bunch of BGH does well against Control Warrior. BGH does well against this other thing. BGH
I mean,
does
that's
well.
the-
It's handlock.
That's the nature. That's the nature of a cards that. That's like we remove mind control tech when people
Yeah.
are playing Shaman, right?
Right, Ant's trying to say something. So what's
I was gonna say, like, I don't normally like cards like Geist or like I mean, I guess the tech crabs and stuff like that, right? But the thing I do like about Geist is it's not like too powerful, and it doesn't like single-handedly win you the matchup, or like
Yeah.
where like you would crab a pirate on 2 and then just like win, right? I've lost so many games playing Geist on 6. Like it's not like too powerful where it just kills the deck and you win every time you play it.
Yeah, it's also 6 mana, right? So you can't just like mulligan it and be like, "Lull, I win," like you do with crabs. And also, like you said, I kind of like Geist because even versus Jade, right? It doesn't say you will beat Jade if you play this. It just says Jades cannot go infinite against you if you play this.
Yeah.
Which I think so. It's like instead of a hard tech card like you look at crabs, this is more like a card that helps the matchup but doesn't just straight up win you the game, which does feel dumb in my opinion.
Right.
See, I feel like it had. I don't think anything would be as oppressive as Jade. So like, yes, you could play Geist to, kill, the Inner Fire for the Priest or the Sinister Strike and the Malleus Rogue or something. But I feel like I just feel like people wouldn't do it. You could still beat those decks in your own way. Like, I just feel like Jade is so oppressive that people put it in there for that specific reason. And sometimes you get the upside of killing an Evolve. But I think if Jade wasn't a thing, I really don't think that many people would play Geist.
It's a nice option, though, right?
It's a nice option, but I don't think that many people.
If you think about it, Geist is almost an OTK killer. There's like a lot of OTKs that have 1 mana spells in them, right? And that's
cut out that Velen Smite combo.
That would yes, that would be sucky.
I know.
It's
just like another option in like your whole toolkit of tech cards that you can play.
I prefer like a tech card that if played at the right time, it like gives you 5 to 10% extra win chance. Or win percentage, should I say, versus a tech card that gives you like an increase by 90% win chance, like a crab or whatever. Like it's just like a buffer card you can choose to like mess around with, as opposed to I have to play this card to beat this one deck.
I think on the ladder, I can see where you're coming from on the ladder. I think in events, it could be so restricting, and from the standpoint of like archetypes, like OTKs just wouldn't exist, like for the most part. Like you couldn't build one. If somebody built one, you literally have a 1-card win condition. Like it's amazing.
I mean, what if you put it in your deck and nobody brings OTK though? Then you're at the disadvantage.
Yeah, but it's a slight disadvantage versus an auto. Like you just completely oppress. Like you just shut down OTKs from the standpoint of.
But if it was like that strong, then literally every deck would be running Galacta. Like, and I know you're gonna say, oh, they are, but like every deck would run Galacta crawlers and like every crab, right? Every deck would run 4 in every single one, but they don't because it messes up a lot of other matchups.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. I do see your point though. I like OTK.
I see your point.
I like heavy combo decks.
I do.
We see each other's point. We're all friends.
See, we can have discussions and leave knowing that we're still right, but no, it's kidding.
Unlike the rest of the internet.
Exactly. We don't have to bash each other. No, but definitely a good question there. At least we, definitely good discussion based on that question by Alanon. And again, guys, if you've got any question for us, email those to valleytown@chanmanv.tv, and we'll read those out next week. But that's going to wrap it up. We got through all those topics. We didn't actually have that many topics. We just had meaty topics. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's great, man. That's what happens when Raven, and Ant and join up with us. We just keep talking and talking, and it's Rambletown all of a sudden.
I do like to talk.
Yes, you do. Yeah. It's almost like it's your job or something.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's almost like
awesome. That. Totally cool. You want to do some shout outs before you take off, Raven? Is there any place people can find you? All that good stuff?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you can see Ravencast. That's my Twitter. I'm at RavenHS on Twitch, but unfortunately, I don't know if you can tell, but my hotel internet is not exactly being the friendliest thing in the world at the moment. So unfortunately, I've not been able to stream. But most importantly, watch HCT if you can this weekend. It's Asia Pacific, so it's going to be a little bit funky time zones depending on where you are. It starts at 6. I want to say 6 p.m. West Coast time. Or whatever it is, I call it, and goes on all night basically. So we're pulling all nighters, and but it should be really good. The deck lists look insane.
There's Chillwind Yeti. I will be watching.
You want to see a Chillwind Yeti in 2017 competitive Hearthstone? I
love a good Yeti.
But yeah, show's going to be awesome. And then, of course, the weekend after is Americas that I'm sure you guys will be watching. Yes. But everyone else should. But yeah, just make sure you watch HCT, guys. It's fun.
Awesome. Ant? Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's always it was a lot of fun last time, and once again, super fun getting your insight on all these nerfs and things. Where can people find you?
Ant_HS, both Twitter and Twitch. I mean, I guess. Yeah. I guess I should mention, like, I'm doing a panel next month at TwitchCon.
Nice.
You can go check that out if you're going.
Which one?
It's like the one with Tempo Storm. That's like meta related. I think it's like meta and Hearthstone in general, something like that.
Okay, great.
Yeah. That's like my first time casting too. I'm gonna cast Aspen next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. So we'll see you there. Like, Allie, you're gonna be there too, right? TwitchCon?
I am going to be there.
Yay.
Oh, sick.
Well, definitely say hi, hang out.
I may have to turn up.
Raven, you gonna be there too? You live there, Raven, right? Or Do you
What?
live around? Do you live around?
I live in
there?
the UK.
Oh, that's right.
No way.
I think all of you guys
are.
are in LA at this point. You travel so
No,
much here anyway.
I'm
You'll-
currently in LA, but
You'll
the
be
thing
here.
is,
It's fine.
well,
Yeah.
well, all honesty, TwitchCon is the weekend after not America's weekend
It's
after
the championship?
championships.
Yeah.
So and championships is in Los Angeles this time. So I'm kind of around. So
Wait, is it championships, then TwitchCon, then BlizzCon, like all
Yeah, they're
weekends
all,
after each
like,
It's
other?
like in
together.
3 weeks. It's like 3
Oh,
weeks,
yeah.
man. It's crazy.
There's one weekend in between TwitchCon and
Yeah.
BlizzCon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's like
Damn it.
almost within 4 weeks. Yeah.
means I have to fly home for like a random few days.
You can just crash at one
You
of their
can just
houses.
crash.
Just crash with
Some-
Dan.
yeah.
Crash
Yeah,
with,
You need friends to crash, guys.
like you don't have
So far,
friends in
there's
LA. Give me a break. There's like a
I
million
don't.
people.
You can find somebody.
There's a
Sleep
million
on my
people.
couch. I'm in San Diego.
There you
Great.
go. There you
Okay.
go.
You can sleep in my bed, but
Whoa, whoa,
No.
whoa! We're talking about hugging
I
and
feel
all
like we
this
should
stuff
talk this
before
off
the
stream.
show. This is crazy. Wow,
But I'm more than happy to have the conversation. But thanks for the offer. Appreciate it. Now I have to work out which one's better. Please,
Okay, well-
please send your arguments privately.
Well, definitely check out Ann at that TwitchCon and check out the panel as well as the cast. And you stream too. What's your stream for everybody?
and _ HS.
All right, cool. So it's Twitter too. So definitely follow him too.
Yep.
Allie.
I've just realized that when I look this way, it looks like I'm talking to
Yeah, it's, yeah. It's kind of like this too.
the whole time. Anyway,
Right?
Look, I know you've been doing it all stream. Don't worry.
I'll stream it. Hey.
I can look down at you too, Allie. Look.
Wait, can we do a high five? This
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
No,
We'll
we
high
should-
five
we
in
should try a
between,
high
so it looks
five.
like we're talking. Yeah, exactly.
We should probably end this soon.
Yes, this is getting silly, ridiculous. People in audio are like,
patrons, thank you so much to the patrons for supporting us. We can't do what we do without you. Also, Twitch chat, just thanks for being you. You can find me on Twitter, FGK_Allie. You're on my channel right now if you're watching twitch.tv/Alliestrasza, S before the Z. Yeah, I think that's all for me.
all right, now I'll wrap things up by thanking the three of you guys for doing the show. It was a lot of fun. I think we covered a lot of great topics today. Thanks to everybody that's been watching on Twitch, just Twitch chat and everything. You can find the VODs for the show on youtube.com/ChanManV for this episode or any previous episodes. We've done a lot of great episodes, obviously 136 of them. So if you want to check any of those out, you can go there and find them. You can follow the show's Twitter at ValueTownGG, and you can follow me on Twitter at ChanManV with any updates to the show and all that good stuff. Also, I do Overwatch. I do some Overwatch podcasts too, so I have another one tomorrow night. The overview, so you can check that out. It's probably gonna be like 10 p.m. Eastern. It's like really late tomorrow. So other than that, I'm hoping we'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll have electricity here and the hurricane will just not mess things up here, but that's probably what I'm gonna be doing most of this weekend.
Yeah.
So definitely tune into iTunes, find all the audios there. Thanks again to all the patrons. You guys are amazing and awesome. And Jackie hopefully will be back next week too. So for Raven, Ant, Alliestrasza, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.